Hello everybody and welcome to another video. So in this one we're going to be talking about probably one of the most busted combinations that the new Space Wolf Codex has, why this even got into the game, and is it even going to get FAQ'd? It's mental. So yeah, the new Iron Priest is coming in at about 60 points for the new Space Wolf Codex. Now obviously there is a balance date due in probably the next week or so at least, so fully expect those points to change, but I'd be highly surprised to see if this changes straight off the bat, and I'm pretty shocked that it actually got into the Codex. It's crazy. So basically what it is it's this ability here. It's his ability to give vehicles rapid fire 1, which is a pretty strong ability. And now everyone's talked about this, and I talked about it in my review video where we said you could have this guy next to Bjorn the Fell-Handed using his frost cannon, next to a Land Raider or an Executioner, but there are pretty much bigger, more broken combinations that you can do by going for a simple transport. And that's a little simple transport is the Repulsor. So the Repulsor has a special rule known as Firing Deck 6, and that rule is as follows. So some transport vehicles have Firing Deck X listed in their abilities. Each time a model is selected to shoot in the shooting phase, you can select up to X models embarked within it whose unit have not already shot this phase. Then for each of those embarked models you can select one ranged weapon that the embarked unit is equipped with, excluding weapons with the hot shot rule. Until the transport model has resolved all its attacks, it is counted as being equipped with those guns. So, using the wording from the Iron Priest being giving rapid fire to guns that the transport or that vehicle is equipped with, means that you can essentially give those guns from its transport marines inside rapid fire 1, which is mental. So some of the units that you could probably do this with is maybe put in a unit of Desolators in there and give them all the super frag rockets, and that's pumping out maybe 4 to 5 strength 10 d6 plus 1 damage rockets at 48-inch range, or rapid firing at 24-inch range. You could even go as far as putting in 3 units of Eliminators. These guys are only like 85 points for the pair. Give them all the las Fusiliers, and that is essentially 6 las cannons firing out the top of this transport. Now, that's mental, and it's how this even made it into the Codex is beyond me. So, fully expecting this to get FAQ'd at some point down the line. Not too sure how they would be able to FAQ it, because this highlights one of the bigger issues with the supplement books, especially when they put in powerful rules on supplement units that then can interact with the core Codex's units. So if they try to nerf or do anything to the Impulsor, it has a knock-on effect to the other books and the other armies that use the Codex Space Marines, and doesn't necessarily change anything for the Space Wolves. So the only really way they could FAQ it is either by FAQing that rule itself, maybe even just changing it to say a Space Wolf vehicle can only get the rapid fire 1. That would only limit then to the Dreadnoughts, or they kind of increase the points cost on the Iron Priest. But even then, that's not really going to do much because he's already incredibly cheap as it is, and you're probably still going to see 1 or 2 of these guys running around the battlefield. It's an absolute nuts rule. They did FAQ the Eliminators and the Impulsor before, allowing them to jump out, fire from the vehicle, then jump out, fire, and then jump back into the Impulsor. That was all FAQ'd. But I'm not too sure how they could actually FAQ this rule, unless they specifically went into the Iron Priest rule itself. So yeah, thought I'd just do a little bit of a fun video on it because I was writing some lists the other night and came across this and was like, well, that's just mental if you can actually pull this one off. and no one is really sort of mentioning it, which is kind of funny. So yeah, I will be definitely picking up at least 2 Iron Priests for my army, maybe converting them out of the Primaris ones, because they're obviously fits with the Primaris looking scale of the army. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking of getting a couple of Impulsors and maybe some Desolator Marines as long fangs to act as a basically mobile gun platform, which would be super cool. But either way, that's the video. So if you like what I do, please like, subscribe and share and all that good stuff. And we'll just sit eagerly waiting for the first Heresy 3rd edition article.